Hey.
Hi. Hello. And welcome to the Partner Panel. Okay, think it hears. There we go. We're chilling. Bro, stop fucking laughing at me, man. J-Pie warning. Bro, I'm telling you, like, it's so all right, everybody's just gonna get used to hearing me complain about it, but it's so disorienting. All of OBS just freezes for a second, and I'm like, yeah, shit might have crashed. I'll let y'all know in a bit. Aye. But welcome everyone to the next episode of the Fault Partner Panel. Now, we don't really have too much to talk about this week, but we have some interesting conversations, to say the least, right? I guess that would be a good way to put it. Like some conversations that need to be had, quite frankly. But let's start off with our usual amazing cast. If we could do it in this order, because that's the way that it shows up on the screen. Sorry, Bearded. If we could do Stunt, Bearded, then Goose, then myself. Introduce yourself, please.
Hey guys, I'm Stunt, newer content creator compared to the other three, but thanks to them, they're my inspiration. So hope you guys enjoy the partner panel today.
Good luck with that.
Which part, the inspiration part or the whole partner panel in general?
The inspiration part. You're drawing inspiration from the wrong sources, my friend.
Your mom would say you're hanging out with the wrong crowd.
She'd be proud.
She'd be proud.
Your mom likes facial hair, I guess.
Why does Windu always introduce us and leave?
I don't know. He doesn't want to. He don't want to hear this shit.
All right, Goose.
What's up, everybody? I'm the Man Goose. You are awesome. I'm a streamer now. I've been streaming, so that's fun.
You have been streaming. I've been there. Almost everyone you've been at. I've been there.
I appreciate that, buddy. Thanks for the support.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
No problem.
I enjoy it.
It's about time I get to repay the favor and not just listen to your videos the whole time. So, and I definitely skipped myself for some reason. I don't know why. It was my fault. I'm used to the other order, but I guess we'll keep it the same. I am the Bearded Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder, also a Fault partner, and love doing these shows for you guys. So I hope you enjoy this one.
Sure. And I appreciate all of you being here. I mean, we all know that specifically this weekend is a spicy weekend in the mobile world, right? New upcoming MOBAs and stuff.
Sure.
Definitely busy for us. But welcome, everybody. I am WinduTheMace, aka Windu Fault Partner as well. And essentially, we're here to mainly talk about Fault, but we do kind of vary in conversations depending on how drunk some of us are, right? Sometimes. To be honest. Just throwing it out there.
Nobody here.
No. I don't know what you mean. I don't know. I have no idea who you're talking about. But let's do this. Let's just go over a couple of the more simplistic changes that have happened over the last week. One of the first things that we see is that Strange Matter actually brought back their community showcase. Yeah. I'll be honest, I was shocked. I did not think they were going to bring this back. Yeah, it's dope. It's really nice.
Yeah, it is nice to see. Very nice. I like it. 100%.
Yeah, and we see a well-known name within the community. A lot of us here have known this name for a while. Mitch, aka Rugged. And we're not going to go too into it because a lot of it is, asking him personal questions, like what he thought. What he thinks about Fault? What's a lot of his inspiration when it comes down to his art? I did want to at least give a shout out to him and show some of the artwork that is in this art showcase because he is very, very talented. I personally love Hops, bro.
These ones where like that Drongo that you got on screen and the Rampage you got on screen.
Those are awesome.
I love those Those to me, like they look those little bottles or bobbleheads, like the little Funko Pop.
Oh, the Funko Pop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what those look like to me. I think that's a great job.
Bro, I need Paragon Assets Funko Pops now.
Hey, NFTs, they look like NFTs to me.
They really do. Wait a minute. That
They look like NFTs.
rugged, my dude. You trying to make some money? That's all I'm saying.
All right. All right.
Having epic assets NFTs, there's gonna be people out there to buy it for damn sure. Because that actually looks pretty damn dope. Like 100%. Now then we also see. I swear for a second I thought Steel was crying in this picture, just because of the lines.
I saw the same thing. Yes.
I was like, damn, bro. I mean, I looked at it. I was like, damn, my boy's sad because the bird died. Like, Steel's a softie. I like it. So I just got to give him credits. But by far the funniest thing is, like, you know what? They trolled with Hops back in the day, like April a year ago. They were like, oh, Hops is coming to the game. And then he's like, I'm going to make my own version of Hops. And then he's got a couple different things here. These are kind of dope.
Does that Steel picture give you guys Letty and George kind of like vibes? Like of Mice and Men?
Oh,
I think it's Letty.
Wow.
tell me about
Had to be Steel.
tell me about the birdies,
big
Murdock.
guy.
Had to be Steel. He's like, Birdie. Had to be Steel. Oh, you know what's crazy? Here's an Iggy one, but uncolored. But it looks like the same sort of style.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
Those are definitely really cool.
yeah, much shout out to him. And these are all super awesome. And he even made his own hero with his own art and their own kit. So those of you that would like to analyze this, go ahead and pause the video at this point. Leave a comment in YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching this. Leave a comment on what you think about his kit, because it's actually super dope. You feel me? Homie's got this light, like this proto saber sort of vibe going on too. Mad cool. It looks like he could be Murdock's cousin. Who knows? But then besides that, the one thing I really want to talk about is the fact that they announced the Master Returns False Next Hero is about to hit the battlefield on their Twitter. And then I'm putting up on the screen their official video. They announced to people, but what do you guys feel? Like, well, let's talk about the video specifically. Let's break it down. Tell me what you see. What do you guys think about the video?
I mean, it's just
Go ahead.
a pretty standard introduction video. I'm really excited to see Feng Mao. I didn't really see anything standing out in the video other than it's really good quality. It's all gameplay. I do like that instead of just a cheesy cinematic. But yeah, it's just Feng Mao, and I like it.
I did something did stand out, which is interesting. That last hit mark, that Spartan, that Spartan visual. I think
That red skull?
Yeah, that the red skull, like the Spartan, like skull looking thing, Spartan helmet looking thing.
Did you guys notice that in the very, very end, he also ulted twice? So like he successfully executed one person and then he's able to cast his ultimate again to execute the second. Almost like an ultimate resets it.
Yep. As long as you're able to get a successful execute, it does reset. So technically, if all 5 players
Lowest shit. What?
you literally could execute.
Could you imagine that shit?
That pentakill.
Bro, that'll be an epic clip. Clink, clink, clink. That's gonna be sick. I would say, like, I had no problem with the video. I had no problem, that it was all gameplay. I do kind of wish they would have shown some cool skin with these characters. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a missed opportunity for future references, because they easily could tease a hero, but with a new skin that Strange Matters made to kind of just show their own flair instead of just here's Feng Mao, But yeah, I had no issue with it. It just details as to what the kit's gonna look like, his shield, his helicopter whirl that slows typically. I don't know if it still slows here. The execute that we see. Now, right. I will say, I at least personally, I definitely feel like it should have been out sooner. At least the official announcement, no?
I think I like the timing. I was afraid that this timing where they showed the example or the little teaser and Feng Mao coming out, I was expecting a month or so. I mean, I like the timing. That was pretty quick. It caught me off guard to release a Feng Mao in midweek. I think it's released on the 26th, which is a Wednesday. Whereas like before, it was always a Thursday, Friday when they would release something.
Right. I like the video. Video is nice. I'm trying to figure out right now if his ultimate is a lock on, or if you're able to continue the aim. You know, kind of like when Murdock snipe, right? I could like literally miss my aim if I wanted to, if I just like swipe if I swipe the mouse to the right or whatever, you know? And but I don't know. It's the video. It's their normal hero release video, right? They show some things to the map. What I don't like in it is how like I think they should have done a little more teasing up to it, not just hey, here's map, and then all of a sudden, bam, here's Feng Mao. You know, like with the Decker and Grimm video, right? You saw the orb kind of flying, and then they finally show you Grimm, you know, like it was like, whoa, what was that? Oh, that was Grimm's orb. And then it was like they go to it, kind of a little bit of a tease into it. I would have liked that. I think that would have been a little more build up to it. You're right. They could definitely use another skin to kind of advertise a skin that they have for him. But I don't know. Other than that, the video quality is great. I love how they advertise all of his abilities, you know, in here. Like you pretty much kind of know what his kit is. You just don't know all the stats of it really right now and what all happens to it. But I like it.
Animations look good.
Yo, can I give a shout out to Geardo in the chat? He just pointed out something I didn't even notice. The statues outside of the buff are floating now. Like they're animated to actually just kind of float up and down.
Right.
We see the little fan moving. I do think that fan was moving before. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I've seen it move before, but I might be tripping.
I believe it was too when we watched the Gideon Astro skin.
Yes, you know, I want to say it was moving at that point. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys sure the statues were not moving before?
I thought they were, but I
didn't notice.
When I'm shooting the shrine, I'm not paying attention to the other statues next to it.
You're not wrong.
That's not.
I don't look that far up, regardless. Like I can't tell you the color of the leaves on that tree above there. To be real,
the red buff spheres, the spheres that lead up the stairs to the red buff, those things turn. They don't go up and down. I always thought they moved up and down. So if you ever go to the red buff and you look at those little spheres that are by the stairs. Mm-hmm. Those things are turning. They look like on fire. Yeah. I mean, I didn't notice that until recently.
It literally might be just not paying attention. So rip, right? But I don't know. Like, I'll be real. Like, I like the fact that Feng Mao is coming out, right? I like the fact that they got a video. They're teasing. They're ramping up on their hero creation. Correct. But
right,
I can't help but also worry. Like, let's say timelines wise, specifically because we have other competitors now even closer on the horizon, right? We got other competitors making moves, and who knows how big of moves are going to be made within a certain time frame. I'm wondering, as far as their production, if they keep this pace up, because they're just teasing him now, right? We could probably assume the Feng Mao might not come out until probably another week. Usually the way that it says
on the end of the video, the 26th.
Oh, sorry, you're right. So a week from now. Yeah, you're right. My bad. So a week from now, but even if it comes out the 26th, right? Phase, what date did she come out? She came out on the 10th with patch 14, right? Of December?
I don't know what day it was, but yeah,
patch 14. So it's a little over a month, which is something that we brought up before. A month or so to release a new hero and such, like we're okay with that as long as the heroes are polished and ready, right? But at that point, it's gonna take them to, what is it, like July, August, somewhere around there, to have the fully finished roster. Am I wrong there? How many heroes are we missing? Do we know?
Stunt, how many did you say there was when you were in Chad that one time? 30,
35, 37, something like that. So where are we at now? 20.
we're at 21. No, we're at 22. We're at 22 with
22 because phase.
We'll be 23 with Feng Mao.
So 23 with Feng Mao. Wow. So at one hero a month, that means it's going to be another full year before we have the entire roster completed.
I'm fine with that. I mean, take as long as you need, as long as they work when they're actually in the game. I find it, as was kind of alluded to in chat earlier, I find it odd that Feng Mao was the choice, because
Really?
we have Feng Mao in both Predecessor and Overprime. I would think that they would want to add somebody that's not in either one of those games to draw more people to Fault and have them experience Fault and play it for themselves, instead of just listening to everybody that talks shit about Fault. So, I mean, I like that they announced it this weekend. I think not. I like that they're announcing him a week later. Like, I don't think releasing him this weekend, I think would have been a mistake. I think a week later is definitely a good call on their part. Announcing him now, pretty good, letting everybody know, hey, we still got stuff going on as well. But I just wish it would have been a different hero. Even though I love Feng Mao,
So-
look forward to playing him.
Well, what about what if we go with this side of that goose, though, is you have these people who don't even give Fault a chance, right?
Right.
But they're all excited for Overprime. So they're going to play Overprime, and they're going to be able to play their favorite character, Feng Mao, right? But that only happens for this weekend. After this weekend, you can't play Overprime again until, whatever date that happens to be, they come back out with whatever. So now they're going to be itching, right? They had a little taste, and they're going to be itching. So now the only way to do that is to come to the only game that's available would be Fall, and they get that Feng Mao itch again.
Interesting. So you're saying
Potential as well.
you're saying on the approach more of let's actually give them something to compare.
I mean, yes and no, but I mean, just like I'm just saying, like I see what Mangoose is saying with going with the character that neither one of these other platforms have, right? And it makes sense, but I could see also if you could do the point of the fact that they do have it in Overprime, but like you're not able to play Overprime. Like this weekend when you're watching this, the weekend that
It's currently going active right now. Yeah.
Be going on this, so when you actually probably if you're watching this on YouTube, it already happened. So you don't have the ability to play Feng Mao anymore with Overprime. And and Pred's been so quiet, you don't know when that's going to happen with them again. So you're literally your only option to play Feng Mao if that's what you really want to do. And I know he's a pretty good fan favorite. And that's another reason they probably would have picked him, because I know Fault or SMS has been pretty good at doing sending out those hero, like, hey, who's your next hero? They've done 2 or 3 of them since they've been doing early access. And they kind of been following those fan favorites, the high top picks, So if Feng Mao's that high of a pick, they're probably trying to get more player base in by putting up a high wanted character.
That's actually a great point, because initially I was thinking like Mangoose, that I would look around and bring you heroes that aren't out in other games. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Iggy and Scorch, maybe Sereth,
Crunch.
Aurora. There's Crunch. I mean, again, yeah, but we don't know what
Mangoose
the back
is just
end, how
biased
much
with
problems
Crunch,
they're having, how much problems they're having in the back end. You know what I mean? Maybe this was a hero that they could bring out just to give the community what they wanted, because one of the main arguments with the community was they wanted a new hero, right? Or at least 2 of them. So maybe this was an easier a hero and a concept to bring out. I mean, it's possible.
I mean, shout out to Stranger in the chat. I do find it interesting that because we had a Phase and an Iggy tease and the same picture. And then they go from Phase to Feng Mao. Now, I don't mind it, because personally, I do love Feng Mao. Like, for me, Feng Mao, you can run him as a jungler and a solo. You can play him as a tank. You can play him as a damage dealer, as a bruiser, just a little bit kind of in between, right? I think his versatility is there. I think adding more people with a teleport would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Instead of just the one Gideon, because it was always cool that he also had one. I don't know. I'm biased because I've always wanted Feng Mao to be one of the next heroes to come in. But now that he's the next one in, I kind of understand what Goose is saying. It's like, I wanted Feng Mao, but I don't know if Feng Mao was the smarter choice. You know what I mean?
The thing with Feng Mao too, just from my experiences talking to people through the years of tracking all of these games, Feng Mao is a beloved hero. Like a lot of people loved playing Feng Mao. He's not really many people's favorite hero. You know what I mean? He doesn't really have the cult following that the other heroes do. He's a safe bet. Like a lot of people like Feng Mao, but nobody mained him. Like people may have been for a week or two, but like you have Richter mains that will play Fault just because Richter's in it. You have Crunch mains that will play Crunch just because Crunch is in it.
Yeah,
I play a game just because Feng Mao's in it.
I don't think I've ever even met a Feng Mao main, to be real with you.
I mained him for a couple months.
Do you guys suppose that they brought out Feng Mao to be a solo laner? I mean, again, this is I'm saying it with like hopes, but Feng Mao was always a hero that jungle and stuff like I was used to seeing. Do you suppose this was just to balance out the game a little bit and be a solo laner? What do you guys think?
That's kind of what I was going to get at. My question was, I didn't play Feng Mao to the point to where I know what he does all that well. I do know that he can be a solo laner and he's actually pretty decent at it. Could he also be brought in to help combat against the ranged off lane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was arguably just as good as Greystone, because Greystone could always leap and then hit you with an AoE. He could teleport, hit you with an AoE, shield himself along the way. So he takes less damage while you take more damage, and now you're within melee range. So that was always one of the best things that he excelled at, going up against a ranged character. So that's honestly not a bad point, because we really need an answer for the range meta that's been going on in solo and the 3 carry problems and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you guys... So he was typically physical damage, right? Do you think he's going to be physical or energy based?
He's going to be physical, I think.
He seems like he's physical. I don't know, but he seems like he's physical.
I think the person in chat's a tester in Gen Chat and Discord, and they said they could be trolling though too, because so it's hard for me to read Gen Chat and work all day like I do. So they said build in blue is what they said. Now that could have been a trolling situation. And I also don't know if they're a tester because they took away the tester tags in Gen Chat. So I don't know for sure if that's a thing or not. So
interesting. But yeah, I mean, maybe. You never know, right?
Unless his ult isn't, it's like a seismic damage, like Pelika's stun.
Yep.
Where you can build the mage into it, you know what I mean? If it's not one of those, the spikes that come out and make it a physical damage.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've seen them implement physical and ability into other characters like Grim, right? I could totally see them throwing in that little mix as like, hey, he might have adaptive scaling because they introduced that a few patches back. He might be like, hey, build him physical. You could build a fucking helicopter Feng Mao. You know what I mean? Build him ability base. You can fucking chunk the hell out of somebody with that ult. Who knows, right? I guess it's one of those things that we're going to have to wait and see. But do you think they're going to stick to the schedule? Or let's not call it a schedule because it's not even a full pattern if it's only 2, right? Yeah. But if they keep it to like a month and a week or 2, or a month and 2 weeks, like I'm not against that, quite frankly. I would be okay with it.
I actually hope that they do something to make it where you don't see a pattern. You know, let's say the next one comes out in 3 weeks, or whatever, like something that just changes it for it's not the same, right? Because I don't want
throw it off on purpose,
pattern, but they did come out and say, or one of the founders in Gen Chat said that they are going to get back to the heroes more frequently. Like we're going to start seeing new heroes more frequently, kind of like what we had with that season pass. They said kind of like that. Didn't say like, hey, you're going to get 2 heroes in 2 months or whatever. Like, that's not what we're going to do, but like, they're going to start working towards that. So I think that means a lot. And so as long as they continue doing stuff like that, I'm all about it. I just don't want to have that lull that we had from 13 to 14 or from 12 to 14 or whatever, that hurt drastically.
Yeah. In my opinion, and deep down inside, I hope we don't. I hope that they start scheduling these heroes to come out again, like Bearded said, not on a consistent basis to a point where if they miss a mark, people don't go crazy. But we're seeing what's happening with the other games. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everybody has their foot on the gas, so Fault needs to start doing it too.
Yeah, so this is a weird weekend, like we were saying, right? Because I don't even know if I fully agree with everybody has their foot on the gas, because after this weekend, it's like everybody takes a pit stop again, sort of vibe. You know what I mean? I wouldn't use that reference like everybody's foot on the gas. Like, of course, we know Ethereal and Overprime have events going on this weekend and everything, and from what I've seen so far, with great success to them, right? But as far as everything, I'm more curious as to what does that mean for their time frame? Because when weekends have great success, we see more events more periodically. Ethereal is a great point of that, right? When we see weekends with not so great success, we see a long period of, hey, we're working on things, for example, Predecessor. So I'm more curious as to how this weekend, because it's a pretty jam-packed weekend, is going to affect Fault's behavior, if at all. Because they've always given off that illusion of we don't care about the other projects. They've always been very clear about saying that every chance they get. Oh, we don't care about them. We're doing our own thing, which I highly doubt. You feel me? Like, I know at least deep inside, it's like they're keeping at least a watchful eye. They'd be ignorant not to, Again,
the Fault, I don't want to steer away from it, but the reason I made that comment was within the 3 or 4 month period, this is Ethereal's third time opening up servers. Overprime, when you follow them, almost every day they're popping out content. It's almost like trying to keep up with them. You know what I mean? That's what I meant by putting.
They've ramped up a lot.
Not necessarily meaning the release dates, but you're seeing all this stuff being built and happening in the background. So that platform is shifting, and it's dangerous. It's a dangerous game for all 4 of them. Doesn't matter who's what. You know what I mean?
Because they're all in the 3D mobile. Yeah.
Overprime's Discord that Fault needs to inherit, and can even put it on their socials. Their work in progress page.
Yeah.
When they do their work in progress announcements, and they're just showing you fucking skin concepts, that's really what they're showing you. And now what we've seen with this streamer early access closed beta weekend that they did so far was a Thursday and Thursday. You guys were able to do that? Yeah, Wednesday night. Yeah, started Wednesday night. We were able to see some of those work in progress skins are in the game already.
Yeah, that's
that was insane impressive, right? So that's what Fault or SMS needs to start implementing that as well. They need to start doing this work. We kind of had a little bit of it. We got the whole, golfer fucking Severog, or was that Vacation Severog, whatever.
Yeah, Vacation Severog, and then Tough Richter to
we've had
Polar Panda sort of vibe, whatever the name was.
It was Polar Panda. What?
Yes, bro.
Two different bears, dude.
Sorry, not Polar Panda. The what was it? Was it a polar bear Boris or was it a panda Boris? Now I don't remember. Panda Boris. There we go. Yo, my mind's fried. Continue.
So we saw a couple of those, but then they just kind of stopped doing it. And it doesn't just have to be the skins. There's other things, like they could have done it. Like I remember the work in progress that they posted was the training mode for Overprime, right? They could have done the same thing with that with the AI. Look, here, work in progress, and show some of the AI or whatever. Like, do little teasers like that. Like that stuff right there is just showing what Overprime's doing, and then they showed it like how quick they got it into the closed beta testing. Like, It's huge. And to see where Overprime is at from where they were is a great jump. Now, given Overprime should have taken that big of a jump because they went from not having Netmarble
They needed to
having Netmarble. And Netmarble, Mangoose, if I remember from your videos before, or maybe your live streams, Netmarble is the biggest mobile game company in Korea.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's huge. That's
unlimited
huge.
Resources. Yeah. These guys have.
So now with Netmarble owning them, is that similar to Predecessor and their angel investors? Are they going to want like, hey, we need?
Yeah, they're going to want them to make money for them.
They're going to have to report and profits on a yearly basis and stuff, quarterly.
I'll wait to see the reaction to that.
Right. So that's one negative side to what's going on. Like you see they're benefiting from it, but in the end,
they
you
have
could
to provide
the same thing that happened to Paragon. You know, Paragon at a point stopped making the money that they wanted to make. So then they literally said, hey, we're not making what we want. We're taking all of our resources. We're going to work on Fortnite, you know?
Absolutely.
And
that's how it is, man.
Fortnite's what caused it, but like that's what happens. Now, SMS doesn't have that. SMS doesn't have that. Okay, sorry, I want to work faster. I'll work faster, you know, over their shoulder.
Which, can we talk about that a little bit? Because,
yeah,
you know, like I've seen firsthand in other companies, right? Like I used to work for a bowling alley as an assistant manager, where literally the head honchos that own the bowling alley would get all the managers together and just be like, hey, here's the deal. If 2015 we don't make at least $1 million in profit, we're shutting down the bowling alley. The bowling alley made $970,000 by the end of the year, January 15th. All right, we're literally shut the fuck down. It wasn't even a, hey, we're going to be shutting down. We suggest everybody find new jobs. Motherfucker, we showed up to work and the doors were padlocked. Like nobody's getting in. And we're like, what the fuck do we do? Who do I pick up my check from? Like, what the fuck? Like, fucking businesses don't fucking joke. They're not going to waste another fucking dollar if they don't think it's profitable, which is what happened in Paragon's case. So it's a good thing that Fault doesn't have that sort of pressure. But that does also mean, since they are self-grown, community-funded type, that also means that their progression, it might be a lot slower than what a lot of people might start to expect out of these other companies. You feel me? That's a real expectation that needs to be set, the realism behind that.
So I have to ask the question, you working at the bowling alley, if you got in trouble, did you get a strike?
Because fucking hate this guy.
Are a good thing, but I don't know if they would still use the same terminology.
I was thinking it's the perfect job because he loves playing with balls.
I hate both of you.
I think
you pinned him on that one.
This guy. This guy.
There's different kinds of investors. I prefer angel investors, ones that trust in your game and donate to the game. Again, Overprime seems like they're one of the investors where they're telling the company, you do your own thing, you put in your creativity, I'll fund you in the background, you know what I mean, with money. There's investors that come in and say, hey, here's $15 million, but I make all the choices. At the end of the day, this is what I approve and this is what I don't approve. So I think Overprime is more of a like a banker situation with them getting percentage out of it. I mean, Mangoose, what do you think? Like,
I mean, yeah, I think it's at comparison to Paragon is that Netmarble wants returns on the money. If they're not getting returns on that investment, they'll shut Overprime down.
Yeah, regardless of if they let Overprime make all the decisions or regardless of Netmarble's making the decisions, at the end of the day, quarterly, yearly, it's going to come down to, are we at a profit or not? Are we losing money quarterly in this? You want me to sink in another $1 million, but we're 200,000 in the negative, or we only made $500,000 in profit last year. What do you mean you need another $1 million? You get me?
Yeah, the reason I was saying it is because when you made that example with the bowling alley, in the film industry, there's two types of producers too. And I think we've talked with Mangus about this. There's producers that come in and say, hey, here's the money, I trust you. Bring in the actors like Angelina Jolie and all these other actors who sell tickets. And then there's producers that come in and say, hey, you know what? I'm giving you $15 million, but my nephew that just graduated UCLA medical school is going to play the main character. That's the scary part. You don't know what kind of investor is actually helping out.
And
you see what I'm saying?
No, you're 100% right. That's a funny example, actually. But we will never know what type of situation Overprime is in, because that's not something they're going to disclose to the public. You feel me? Like, for all we know, because you got to remember, like, they pitched an idea, they got the funding behind it. Same thing with Predecessor, right? So as far as we're concerned, at least towards the beginning, the companies are going to be like, all right, we follow your idea. Like, I can assume at least that they're going to have at least certain benefit of the doubt. It's like, hey, we trust in your judgment. And then it's going to come down to the actual results, whether the company at that point is like, hey, what you're doing is working, keep doing what you're doing. Or after quarter one, it's like, you're losing us money. You get maybe one more chance if they feel great, if they really, really like you. If they don't like you, or if they're super strict, they're going to be like, all right, we tried your way, let's try my way now. Yeah. It's a rough seat to be in.
This whole conversation and the not having investor situation, like you said, they can kind of go at their own pace, right? Talk about Strange Better Studios, and then go at their own pace, which is true, right? And if we get to the point to where the community just drops off to where they don't have the ability to, that's why they don't have the ability, because they'll have the ability if they want to, but there's just no point of keeping the servers open anymore. They can close the servers down and still put their head down and grind and you know, kind of like what Overprime did. Look what Overprime did. Overprime had these little servers up, or these little peer-to-peer things that you could do and you could be playing, right? And then they like stopped what they're doing. Hey, we're not doing that anymore. We're focusing on us. And then here we go. We're back at it again. And Fault can still be doing the you know, we'll go 3 months and hey, here's an update. This is where we're at, guys. We're hoping to be back soon, you know, whatever, and generate some more. Now it's going to be a lot harder to generate the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Momentum.
The people wanting to see it, you know, the
hype.
Excitement. People generate excitement for a game that they tried before, but you know, closing the doors almost might be a good thing, because then it becomes that unknown. Right now it's a known. Like, we know what Fault is, we know what it's like, and people will see people streaming it and then they won't even give it a chance because like, it looks similar to what I remember playing and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong at all, right? Like, I think that they easily could do all that. And I mean, it's probably not what they would want at this point, right? Because they've gotten the people used to playing, right? But they do have the structure and funding to probably easily be like, all right, we're shutting down until we're ready. But you know what I think is interesting, though? I feel like they act that way as if they got, it's like, I can't let anybody know my secrets. Wait till I show them while they're a live service. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As opposed to when now we have other companies that are constantly showing us more, but we don't get to see and touch it. Like a completely different approach. I would welcome Strange Matters being like way more open, show us more teasers, have people vote on teasers. Which one would you like and stuff, you know? Like, hey, here's progress on this Severog vacation skin that we've been working on. What do you think? Or like, show me a screenshot of that skin in a part of the map that got updated. So now there's super spiciness going everywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I get excited because they're their own bosses. Mm-hmm. But the part that I get worried, and this is just me with my realism, right? The part that I get worried is when you're your own boss, you need a lot of discipline. You need a lot of like self-motivation and like, hey, this is what we're going to do. You need excellent leadership if you're going to be your own boss and you got people under you, right? Like, it's a well-oiled machine that needs to run. And we see that they're hiring marketing managers and stuff, which is cool, but whenever I see stuff like that, I'm also like, okay, who's hiring this marketing manager? Who's making that call? Is the person making that call, do they have enough marketing experience to be able to tell if somebody is going to be a good marketing manager? You feel me? Because like if let's say, for example, if you need a marketing manager for your business, it's probably because you are lacking in the marketing department. So how do you know somebody's not feeding you shit when you hire them? You get me? So it excites me at their possibilities, but it worries me because I almost feel like Strange Matter is hesitant in a lot of their actions. Am I the only one that feels that way?
Oh no, I definitely feel that way.
They're playing safe. You're right. They're playing close to their chest, and you're absolutely right. I mean,
part of it is, even though they'll tell you that they're not worried about the competition, or there isn't a competition out there. You know, they'll tell you that. I think they're worried about the competition. I think they're worried about because these other games aren't out there yet, right? They're all working on it. So if these other games were to see something that Fault is planning on doing, they're like, oh, that's good. Let's work on that. You know, there's like, hey, you know, like you steal it from the competition. Like, oh, I like that idea. Let's work with, or we see so, or maybe they can see it and they're like, you know what? We're going to build on that. We're going to make it better. You know, but if they don't do that and they hold it out until they're ready to post it, to release it, then, you know, it kind of makes it their own still when it's fully released. But if they come out with that idea and the next thing you know, Overprime shows the idea before they even were able to put it in the game, whose idea was it?
Well, that's another thing too. Like showing it almost gives you proof of not official copyright, right? But it almost proves like, hey, we made this idea public first. Which is why, you know, for example, maybe they've done stuff like that with like the Tough Richter and the Vacation Severod and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But then we've also criticized in the past, like, hey, you shouldn't show stuff if it's too far out. You get me? Like if a company's teasing a character or a skin, probably within a month or so, you want to make a change, you know? Or you want to at least start implementing. I think that's going to come down to more of their production pipeline and how it goes from there, you know?
Yeah. I think that statement is always the statement that kind of bothered me about SMS, about saying that they're not worried about the other competition at any given time. It doesn't matter what company you work for and what you do, and doesn't matter whether it's games, movies, or etc. You need to pay attention to your competition. You need to see what the community is asking. If Predecessor is coming out with a certain idea and the community hates it, you better capitalize on that. You better give the community what they want. So in the near future or whatever, you bring that community to you. You know what I mean? You can't sit there and say, you know what? Nah, I'm not worried about anything. I'm not paying attention to the other companies. I think it's a wrong statement.
Well, what do you guys think about the fact that patch 15.15 is coming at the same time as Feng Mao?
I mean, that's normal for them, though. Anytime a new hero's come out, it's been that middle number's
like a big number. Do you think there are going to be any other major changes, or do you think that's going to be, hey, it's 15 because Feng Mao is here?
I mean, if they give us patch notes that just says Feng Mao and his kit, and that's all we get, that they failed. You know, there needs to be some balancing that goes on with it. There needs to be some bug fixes that go on with it, and hopefully some more items or something. Like,
I don't know. I
mean, go ahead.
I wouldn't be too angry if it was just patch 15 Feng Mao. I wouldn't be too angry at that, to tell you the truth.
I think this early in the game, they need more.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was closer to full release, you know, then, you know, that's kind of where we're at. Like, we're at a good state. We're in a good spot. Like, there's still optimization stuff that needs to be done. Like, I'm still getting, you know, it's not happening as often. And Espada's done a great job with it so far, but I'm still getting points to where I'll drop down to 2 frames, you know? So that, you know, stuff like that still needs to get into it. So, I mean, even if it's not a full optimization patch, but some things, hey, this needs to be, you know, how about the fact that last, what was a 14, what are we on, 14.5? That last patch that we just had said that the the Dawn thing was fixed. You're getting stuck in the inhibitor ring.
And then the next day we get stuck in the Dawn inhibitor.
Yeah.
The next day.
Now, granted, I was told that something happened when they patched it over, that it didn't, pretty much that bug fix didn't follow. So it's like they fixed it when they patched it over, that for some reason that didn't follow.
That little section got left out.
Right. So that should be on the next patch, right? But that's what I'm being told in Gen Chat. So I don't know how, like I said, this is all coming from mods. Nothing against the mods. I'm not saying they don't know what they're talking about. But as I'm told by a mod, if it's not an announcement, it's not true. So like choose your poison, I guess.
Yeah, chat's right. That fountain regen, that's what I want to see fixed with the
Please.
Big Mal patch.
Please.
Holy shit, that is so annoying.
Am I the only one that wants to see a skin?
What's up?
I mean,
I was just saying, am I the only one that wants to see a skin? Like, if they give me Feng Mao with no extra skin, like, I want to see a spicy skin. Don't be like, here's the color reworks from Paragon.
I mean, but technically, have they released a hero that didn't have a skin? Even FaZe had the one. So,
well, but it wasn't like anything
over prime specific skin or
that are fault specific skins.
Fault specific skins.
Like Bone Collector Chimera, right? Like if they have released, if they release Chimera and Bone Collector skin, dope. Gideon and Astro Gideon skin. Like you have the pattern I'm going through there.
Yeah.
Like if they release Feng Mao and a new custom Feng Mao skin.
And I hate to,
and it saves them from making a custom skin for a good little while for a character, because they already have one. Try to double up.
To be negative, but fucking overprime skins kick the absolute dog shit out of fault skins.
Yeah, those are some. Those skins are on.
They kick the absolute dog shit out of every skins. I wouldn't even bring Paragon skins into them. Like their creativity level is outstanding.
Why don't we see something like that from Fault? I mean, it's all a matter of aesthetics, and it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder and everything. But
that's one of my things too, though. I don't necessarily think that whenever Fault is being created, planned, and executed, I don't think the top best looking aesthetics possible are on top of that list. You know what I'm saying? Like they've always been saying game first. They've always been saying like, hey, we want to focus on the competitive nature, the balance, etc. I don't think when they release something, it's like 10, like it's meant to be 10 out of 10 quality. I think when they release something, it's like, hey, we're going to make it as pretty as possible without going too far out of our way. And that's how I felt about things.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then we see them slowly catch up different things later. Like we saw them add slowly animations to certain characters, like Gideon's hands started glowing and stuff. And then they slowly start increasing the visual fidelity down the road. But
with the hire of Netmarble though, or the hire, the
acquisition,
the Netmarble acquiring Soul Eve and stuff like that, I think they also had the ability to pretty much get some top-notch employees working for them, the ones
programs,
to be able to make the aesthetics be that good looking. So that's another thing that's helpful with them as well. I mean, because Soul Eve is an indie dev company, but they're Netmarble's not.
Soul Eve's not indie dev anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So to make that comparison, that's very hard to do. I think we have to, when it comes to that, we can only compare Predecessor and Fault in those regards because they're more on equal playing fields.
No, life's not fair, brother.
Life isn't fair.
Where their money comes from, they want to see the results.
Hey, he's not wrong. Like if
I know you're not wrong, but like you have, all right, like you're asking me to do the same thing as somebody that has been trained to do this. They're, I would take the guy that's been trained. I can't, but
I don't think this is a matter of.
I can't.
I don't think this is a matter of training either. Mangus, do you approximately know how many employees Overprime now has?
I have no idea, but they got a lot.
I know that there was a merging of studios at one point. Like they were working along with the same studio. that did the Seven Deadly Sins game. But I want to throw it out there before you finish your sentence. Let's not forget that in every industry, quality of work does come with a higher price.
Yeah.
And let's understand that specifically in a world where the product is giving first, that means the return on investment is going to be expected to be higher if more time, more quality, and everything was put into it. But keep going.
Yeah, but again, it's not fair. They're in the same the MOBA, whatever the platform, you know what I mean? They're all competing against each other. But at the same time, Bearded has a good point too. Overprime has the opportunity and has the resources to put 15 animators and say, you know what? For 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, all you guys do is make skins. That's it. All you do is make skins. I don't give a damn. I'm paying you. All you're doing is making skins. And I think that's how they work. I mean, the visuals and everything that comes out, it's almost impossible for them to share a project amongst each other. They have a group that sits down and does this one section, a group that sits down and just does maps, and so on and so forth. But I don't think Pred and Fault and Ethereal have that
the same infrastructure
yet. Yeah.
So you know what I think? Trying to spin it on the constructive side, right? I think moments like this weekend are eye openers for Strange Matter.
Yeah.
And they have to like majorly adjust because the benefit of being first and just pushing out content that people can play is slowly wearing, like, that advantage is thinning out. And then they know that eventually they're going to get to a point where it's like, hey, other companies might be able to produce content faster at a faster rate, right? Like, that's just a size of team issue, and that comes along with funding and whatnot. So I think we might, and seeing the heroes here, like a hero being released a month and like 2 weeks after the last one, I think we're going to start seeing hopefully slower but stronger changes out of Strange Matter, because they might be realizing it's like, hey, we have to make an impact when we do changes, but it has to be quality. It might take us a little longer, but we got to make sure that every time we swing, we come out swinging hard. Not like before, right, where, hey, it was like, hey, you know what? 2 strikes, whatever. I got on base. You know what I mean? Like, now it's like, hey, man, you got to make sure that when you come and swing, knock it out of the park. Every move that you make, no?
On the bright side, though, of like the big weekend that's happening right now with Overprime being, they put so much of the money into advertising, and it's been fairly successful so far, we can say. It's brought attention that there are Paragon remakes. I've seen a lot of people out there that has had no idea that there was a Paragon remake at all. And I'm seeing questions like, wait, is Overprime the one that Predecessor is making? And then my brain fucking short circuits and I'm like,
yeah, I'm sorry to call him out. My little brother Latin asked me that. Well, my little brother, he's like, Overprime, that's the one that Sergeant Smokey's working on, right? I'm like, no, bro. Like,
this one was Overprime. That's the one Predecessor is making, right? I'm like, what?
There's still a lot of confusion.
It's bringing in a lot of people. Like, it's bringing in a lot of Paragon fans, and Fault could benefit from that.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, what people are going to play this weekend for Overprime, and I've been playing for a little bit now, and I'm already finding lots of little bugs and little stuff. Like, we talk about the rose tinted glasses a lot, like coming into the game and it's brand new. It's super fun. But as you play more and more, it starts to wear down. Fault has had the opportunity to correct a lot of those issues.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for over a year.
I don't get stuck on minions' heads in Fault. Like, I don't know how many times I've had somebody on top of my head of steel in Overprime, or seen people, like, my main use of Bull Rush in Overprime is to bounce people off of the minions, because people end up crowd surfing on minions and they can't move, and I have to Bull Rush the minions so they can get down. You don't see shit like that in Fault.
Yeah. One thing,
maybe you used to, but not anymore.
You think people will care that Fault has already been out for an early access? Sorry, not out. But Fault has been in early access for a year and a half.
they won't care how long it's been out. Again, people just care about the final product. They don't give a fuck about time spent or money spent or anything. They just want the end product to be good. And I think Fault has perfected their product to a point that it is really good. People just need to try it out and experience it. They really fucked up with their free weekend by it, because that could have brought so many people back to the game, but they didn't optimize it. So it brought people back for like an hour until they're like, oh, this game's dog shit, and they left. Like that was their shot, man. That was their shot, and they failed.
You think they'll do a free weekend with Mel?
Another thing too, Windu, is that passionately we've all played Paragon, and all of us sit here and talk about balancing and all this other stuff. But think of it this way: the average player who's gonna pull up these games on Steam is gonna look at the quality of the game, is gonna look at the heroes and look at the kits and be like, well, I like Fault's Feng Mao better than I like Predecessor, so I'm going to go play that. You know what I mean? Amongst us, it's understandable that we're talking about patches and balances and cards, but the average player is going to go in and go, okay, this one looks more pretty than this one, and I'm going to jump onto it. And I think that's very important. And Fault has the experience. Fault looks nice. After patch 14, after like all of this, the map rework and all that, Fault looks nice. Fault can easily put out a trailer to bring people in, to drag them in. They have the capabilities of doing so.
I think what needs to happen with this weekend is SMS needs to really study with what they see with Overprime in the visuals, the aesthetic visuals, these skins, and everything that's going on with the game, and see where Overprime is going right. And say, okay, this is kind of like a goal. Like this is kind of what we want our stuff to look like and be like, in regards to aesthetic visuals, right? Because I think the good news is for SMS is Overprime, out of the 3 para zombies, Overprime is the one that's really not going for the MOBA style game. They're going for more of this fast-paced brawler. It's literally, I saw a shout out to Ryan Dash in Gen Chat. They compared it to Paragon and Overwatch having a Coke baby, because it literally is like running around like they're on crack, because it just, that's kind of like what and literally kind of what it is like you have Overwatch running around on a MOBA map is what you're doing, and it's just all fast-paced run, kill. And it looks fun. It literally does look fun. I've been telling people that I've been watching Mangoose play it, and I've been telling people, in DMs, like Overprime is going to be that game that, what, I just want to get into this big old mayhem. I'm just going to load up some Overprime and play and have a good time. That's what I want to do. Yeah. I'm excited for it. But Predecessor and Fault, those are the 2 games that are going towards a MOBA style game. And SMS needs to see the aesthetics and how well Overprime is doing with those, and put them like, these are our goals. We want something like this, and then start pushing for that, because a lot of people are falling in love. Mangoose, for example, about how much he loves those skins, and the skins are great. That's what needs to be kind of like, this is what our end result. This is what we're looking for.
And remember what Windu said in the beginning, sorry for cutting you off, bro, when he looked at Prime and said, I'm sick of looking at the same Prime since Paragon days. Now when you look at Prime and Overprime, you're like, oh shoot, that shit is big.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I can't with you, Brian. One thing that I was gonna say too is, and this is just advice to Strange Matter, right? I urge Strange Matter to keep a very open mind when considering and when analyzing, right? Because it's very easy to justify something with the smallest excuse. If people might be like, well, you got to put skins out that are on that level. It's so easy for somebody to be like, oh, but that skin was janky. Like a great example could be like, a lot of people liked in the Predecessor day, one of the Predecessor tests, the Jailer Murdock skin that they came out with. But that skin had a whole bunch of rigging issues, and the way that it walked and everything, like my boy would be looking one way and his legs were going the other way. So I heard a lot of people back then. Yeah, I heard a lot of people back then is like, oh, well, that skin doesn't matter because it wasn't even that greatly programmed or whatever the hell, right? But it's so easy for people to justify or make excuses and be like, nah, we don't got to worry. That skin wasn't that great anyway. Like, no, like they need to understand that whatever bar is set by competitors, they need to always aim to exceed that bar. It's not about, hey, this team did this and failed, so that doesn't matter. Or this team tried this and it didn't look that great. Like, if they tried this, I want you to try 10% better and execute it properly. Take time, do it right. But I don't want Strange Matters as a company to look at weekends like this and be like, nah, we don't got to worry. We're still gonna do our own thing. We're gonna output skins at this quality. That's okay for us. See, I mean, I want them to analyze and exceed their own expectations. Is that weird to say?
Oh, I mean, talking about skins, that's a good point. SMA showed us skins almost a year ago. That Vacation Sevrog. If you put that Vacation Sevrog skin among other Parazombies, it's probably one of the top 3 for sure. Like compared to Paragon and stuff. Why haven't you released that yet? Why not? Yeah, I liked it. That was amazing. The creativity on that with golf clubs and all that. Why haven't you released it yet? Why are you just keeping it in a safe area close to your chest? You've already teased it.
What if they're planning for another? Because Bearded just said in the chat, at least they mentioned getting back to something similar to the season pass, but not quite. What if they're
talking about how often they're
as far as heroes
out? Right. I mean, but
what if they're planning on doing something similar with skins? Like,
have a season 0 pass without the insinuation of a season 1 pass and then a season 2 pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wouldn't. You can't have. You can, I guess, but why would you do shouldn't it just be called a season pass? And hey, the season's done. We're not doing any more seasons. But yeah, I mean, calling it season 0 is the insinuation that there's going to be more. And this is just the baseline. So yeah, I mean, I know what you're going with that, and that could be a possibility. But I mean, at least with the season 0 pass, the skins were somewhat with a theme, and with the skins that they've teased so far, what theme are you going for? A Vacation Severog, a Tough Richter, and a Panda Boris. I don't know what theme there is there,
Oh, that's weird. You're not wrong. Because the Tough Richter looks like a Roman gladiator sort of vibe too.
Yeah.
So
you're not call it a polar bear Boris anymore because we have that mastery skin now. He looks like a polar bear.
Yes, he.
You can call it a polar panda, I guess, if it's
I hate you.
Personalities.
I can't. What do you guys think?
Changes colors every time he also
bamboo.
Do you guys think that if Strange Matter came out with another season pass, like the season 1 pass, for example, and they straighten it out, they're like, hey, 6 months worth of content, but we're gonna do 6 heroes, but then we're gonna double that down with skins as well, maybe even more unique skins. They adjust the price, whatever it may be. Do you think a season 1 would even be well received without going free to play first?
That's what I was going to say. They need to go free to play before they start doing season passes.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a must, in that regard. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. But unless the season pass was free, at this point, is more of a it's more of a marketing scheme to get people here. Like, hey, come play Fault and get onto the season 1 pass. Like that could be a thing, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, that's quite a lot of IP to put out there for.
Because that's like saying,
for free.
Yeah, that's like saying thank you for paying for the game, supporting us. Here's a season pass. Pay another $5 for it. I don't think that's a good idea.
I mean, they already did it, but
yeah, but
didn't turn out so well for them.
I mean,
I'm one of the minorities in that regard. So
yeah, I was okay with them testing out ways to get money, right? A lot of people hated it. A lot of people were actually very put off by the idea that they were not only charging for early access, but on top of that, collecting other ways of revenue, right? But I'm okay because it more than likely put Strange Matters in a very comfortable spot, at least by their standards and their current economy, right? So my thing would be then moving forward from there, how, because they're still going to need to continue raising money, right? Not that the game isn't slowly doing so with people coming in, people spending on skins and whatnot. I think the flow of content is almost needed beyond the making money. Like if they do a season 1 pass, I think season 1 pass would help the game more because there's constant content guaranteed to come out as opposed to the monetary value that they could gain from it. Because at this point, I think staleness and what are they going to do to combat that staleness is what people care more about. Because if they came out with a brand new skin every month for the next year, like a brand new unique Strange Matter skin every month for the next year, but then they came out and be like, hey, instead of buying all these skins, you could buy this pass. You'll actually save $20 by the end of the year. Would people really be opposed to that if the content was going to come out anyway?
I think they would. You can ask Gen Chat now. They'll tell you. I mean, I think they will.
I think the perception is still the problem there. Like people aren't going to look that far into the future. They're not going to look ahead and like, okay, yeah, I can see how I'm saving money with this and how this makes sense or blah, 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 and look at it in that regard. They're just going to see it as the like the whole perception that it got with, the first season pass and how people perceive that as a money grab and all what's going on there. I agree with you, Windu. I think it was good for them to test, how monetization is going to work in their system. I'm okay with it, but the perception by the majority is going to be worse, and that's not what you want. And one thing I learned from military, and Mangoose can attest this: perception is reality.
Well, and let's be mindful too. Speaking of perception, it was ill-received mainly because they were the only ones charging money for the project at the time, right? What if by the time season 1 comes out, other competitors are out there and they all have in-game monetization or paid early access or founders packs, etc. You get me? Will the perception still be that way when they're all doing it? If they're all doing it, they're all going to monetize in some way.
That perception is going to remain until they do something about it. That's mainly what Fault needs to do now. Like I tell anybody that asks that Fault isn't that bad, but people just have this perception that Fault is the worst thing ever and that it's just a big cash grab and that they don't actually care about Fault and blah, 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 blah. Just the list of shit that people will give Fault. And it's unwarranted. It really is. However, like Bearded said, perception is reality. That's the way people perceive Fault. Until they can get out from under that, people aren't even going to try it.
Right.
Yeah, and how do you think they're going to get out from under that? Free to play?
So adding to that perception is just not going to help in that regard.
Right. It doesn't even help that SMS kind of contributes to that. Like something as simple as the free weekend. All of us mentioned it, even during chat too. We said, monetize the game. I mean, not monetize, optimize the game before you go to free access. It's going to hurt you. It's that one patch. Do it before you go to free access. And again, they didn't do it. Some people were willing to try, come back, and it never worked. They kind of contribute to it too, without doing it on purpose.
Yep.
They have to stop that.
I mean, the game's good. They've got a good product.
It is.
They just don't know how to push it.
Like marketing wise, is what you're assuming? Or?
Not even marketing wise. They need to get somebody in there that is so fucking skilled with social media and stuff to turn fault around for being the meme that everybody shits on, because that's what it is right now. People don't even attempt to try fault. They just, somebody will make a comment on like an Overprime video about fault or something, and then immediately there's a million people joking about how terrible fault is, knowing full well that they've never tried it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think is crazy?
Everybody picks up their pitchforks and torches and goes after fault without ever trying to understand it.
Well, you brought up a great point as far as the effectiveness of their social media and everything, right? If I ask you guys right now, what is more effective? A well-known content creator shitting on fault, or fault's last entire month worth of posts? Which one is more effective for the reputation of fault?
A well-known content creator? Really?
Yeah.
You said, wait, who said last month?
Stunt and I disagreed.
Stunt said last month? Okay, and Bearded?
It's the well-known content creator. Because that well-known content creator, well-known, let's put an average number on there. Like he reaches out to 150 viewers, right? The 150 viewers, what are they going to do? They're going to talk, right? Word of mouth is going to sell more than your 300 people that see your social media posts that just already like your game.
Yeah.
No, but here's why I said the social media post. Because if you put a stop to that, if you have 150 people shitting on your game, and then you come up with a post, or for example, Fang Mao was a perfect example. After the last teaser, I was expecting Fang Mao to come out in a month or two, because that's where I perceive as fault being at. They tease you something and then they release it 5 months later. You see what I'm saying? When Fang Mao and the date came out, it shocked the shit out of me. And that's how you stop the guys that are talking. You put them in their spot like, hey, you're talking shit? Here's my proof. Come try it and see what's going on. But the point I was making is SMS kind of contributes to that. With patch 14, the same thing. To a point where even people who liked the game were already getting frustrated by how long it was taking.
Yeah, we all were.
Perfect example, yeah. So you gave us a teaser. 2 weeks later, you're giving us the release. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely
that's why I said
way better executed as far as their delivery, right? We'll see how the hero actually performs in game.
The issue with that though, Stunt, is again, you are one of the few that follow the social media.
True.
Okay. The for this game to grow, we need people who aren't already actively playing the game to become a part of this and see what's going on. The negative streamer, the content creator that is making content and is making this and putting out negative vibes about fault is getting more reaction and more views than the social media posts that are going out there, because it's only the cult following of fault that is actively following the social media. It's not the people who don't know anything about it. They're all getting this negative vibe because of what they're being told from their friends that the 150 people listen to, and now it literally is just spreading like wildfire.
So here's the question to you guys, being the youngest content creator. I've seen how your communities, each of your communities comes in and respects you guys and listens to what you guys are saying, right? So how do you put a stop to a content creator whose pure purpose is just to be salty? No matter how good your game is, this so-called content creator is going to come out and trash your game. How else do you stop that? That's what I'm saying.
So here's what I think the focus should be. It's not stopping that, because you're not going to be able to. That's already a tarnished reputation. It's preventing other individuals that can be like one or two, right? Because where 3 formed from one bad experience, you can get another 100 content creators that can shit on the game for their own personal bad experience. You get what I'm saying? And that's where the planning, the execution, all that comes into play just going forward. But I will say that me personally, I think like do you guys remember? Shout out to this guy. I don't even remember his name. I'll try to find the video and link it down below. I know you guys are gonna remember it. There was some time ago, somebody made a video. Is fault worth the $20 or something like that? Like it was a relatively new content creator, maybe a couple hundred subscribers and stuff, and they were like, "Hey, is fault worth it?" And they gave their experience, their 2 cents, what they thought about it. It was a well-made video. Not everything was factual, but it was a well-made video, right? And at the end of the day, I know a lot of people that DM'd me, and they were like, "Have you seen this video? What do you think, Windu?" And then they started talking to me about the video because that video got them talking, and they're like, "Yo, I agree with what he's saying here. I agree with what he's saying there." The point is, content creators are always gonna come up. Their experience with the game is going to mold what type of content they make about the game, if they make content at all. And Strange Matters needs to get newer content creators on their side. How is Strange Matters promoting content creation right now? Not them creating their own content. What is the benefit of any streamer or YouTuber creating fault content right now?
Honestly, the three of you are sitting right here. The only ones that I can think of. I'm not trying to be funny. Seriously.
I don't know if it's actually them. I haven't confirmed it, but there's a TikTok, fault_MOBA.
Okay.
And they put out TikToks, and they credit the streamer, or they take clips of Twitch, and they post those videos. So that's one way that it's, if it is SMS doing it. The reason I'm saying I don't know if it's them is because the name is fault_MOBA. Everything else they have is called Strange Matters. Like
Strange__matter.
Yeah. You have all the other stuff that they have going on. Like it's all Strange Matter, but this one says fault_MOBA. So it's like, okay, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's just a fan, but they're out there like, Ito Easy. They posted a clip of his, and credited him in the title of it,
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way that if that is them, that they're kind of putting stuff out there. But other than that, it's definitely not happening as much as it definitely could be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like you said, I think you said it last episode, you literally could just like as SMS, go to your own Twitch page, go to your and look at clips, grab the top, you can last 7 days and find a clip that you like and post it on your social media. All of it. Instagram, Facebook, just advertise it.
I really wonder why they haven't done that. Like,
because they don't have a marketing manager.
I mean, but you don't need a marketing manager. We told them that shit a month ago. Like, you don't need a marketing manager to share popular clips of the last week. You don't need a marketing manager to sit here and look at your own stats and be like, yo, shout out to this player. He got the most amount of kills last week. Something random. Just to promote community engagement, right? And then if that person happens to be a content creator, Twitch link included. So now people can see. You can get a shout out if you're a normal person, but if you're a content creator, they'll include your link on the shout out saying, hey, go follow this person that made that awesome play. Like, we've talked about this before. They don't need a marketing manager to make these moves. So I guess the better question would be, why aren't they doing something that simple? Because there's got to be a reason. I know for a fact they watch the partner panels. You get me? So if they watch the partner panels, they
just because of it.
Yeah, if they watch the partner panels and they know that the advice is there, what reason could anyone come up with by saying that's not a good idea?
I would love to hear the reasoning. For if they don't think it's a good idea, I would love to hear their reasoning. So
yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. There's honestly a lot of very, very simple things. Like,
so go ahead, Windu, finish it up.
I was just gonna say, like, when's the last time that you guys remember doing a poll for Strange Matter?
It's been a while.
The hero poll was what, last April? Something like that for the next player, for the next hero.
That's what I'm saying. Next hero poll, next item poll. You get me? So what is something that you guys want to see updated? Put Reggie, put Prime, put the red buff, put the blue buff. Just get feedback. What buff do people want to see change? And only change one. You don't have to change the whole fucking map. You get me?
Right.
Like, just like for a company that is driven by the community, I just gotta say directly, it's been a while since I've seen a poll. Now that I know they have feedback from their Discord, they get feedback from their social medias, comments. We all know 90% of that feedback is PlayStation when. But why? Like I literally I sit here and I'm like, why don't they do that?
He's in chat right now. I literally was going to bring it up because that usually is the first comment. PlayStation when. This Fang Mao post gets posted and Pappy goes in with the Fang Mao post. It goes in, when is the minions causing FPS drops going to get fixed? Like, what? Like, Pappy, like, what is that got to do with this post, buddy? I love you, Pappy, but come on, man. Say something about Fang Mao at least.
Well, you know what's but that's how a lot of people are. Like Fang Mao, like let's say, give me another person. Let's say they decide to add Terra next month.
Let's go.
Like people, no, I hate Terra. Leave it for last. No, I'm sorry. Leave things for last. Leave things for last. But at the end of the day, like they literally could add a new hero, a new skin, optimization patches, right? But it's never going to be the perfect scenario because bugs are always going to happen. It's a game. No game has zero bugs, right? And it's at the end of the day where people are going to be like, oh, they're adding all this shit, but why is this bug still going on? How come sometimes I throw a thunk and it says stun, but they walk away? You get me? Obviously, some stuff is harder to fix than others. Some stuff literally is just like, we have no idea why that's happening. We're still working on it. It happens. There's plenty of games out there that even till this day where production has stopped, like the development of the game has stopped completely, there's still bugs in those games that people exploit all the time. So it's just one of those things that they're on an uphill battle. Can they even actually make a difference as to changing people's minds? Like, when is this going to get fixed? Like, for example, we use Pappy as an example. Like, I know for a fact, no matter how much gets added, Pappy's going to say, what about fixing something on Richter? You know?
But they did fix Richter.
Like, how do... Well, don't get me started on that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do they handle that subsection of the community? Because they all got their own different issues.
The problem is you're never going to satisfy everyone, and that's where they need to. As long as they know that, they just need to focus, keep their head down and keep pushing, because you're gonna, as long as you are pushing through these bugs, as long as you are, you're not gonna. You the problem is every time you introduce something new, guess what? There's gonna be new bugs that are introduced as well, right? So you have to keep pushing through these bugs. Now, I think what they need to do, this is just my an opinion, constructive criticism. I think they need to have a bug list and have like a first known date for that bug, right? And after that bug gets reached a certain age, then that bug needs to be like priority. Like, this bug is still in game. We need to focus and figure out why this bug is still in the game and get it out of here, right? And then go from there. Right. And then we're going to reach the next one. Right. And kind of have like, I don't know how Excel works, but make it to where like you put it in Excel. It is like, all right, when it's new, it's got a green color. Right. And when it gets like, I don't know, 3 months old, it kind of turns orange, or yellow, and then it gets older, it turns orange. Then when it gets like, hey, it's now red. We got a bug that, and then have it be the bug team's goal.
Priority list or something
on the board. As long as we don't have red on the board, great. And then once you get that goal completed, all right, we're never going to
work on the orange, yeah.
And just keep focusing, and then have them have their own goals to kind of go from that. That's like when I worked at Papa John's. That was like, hey, our goal for today is to make sure no pizza, because you'd always have a timer on when the pizza needs to get out. Our goal for today is to have no pizza reach, 7 minutes or whatever, whatever the time be. I think it was actually 4 minutes, but
I thought you guys had that.
Sit there and do what you got to do, So, and your team's focused and ready to go, and that you're trying for a goal, and you might not hit that goal, but you're doing your best to push for it. That's something that I think they can do to help benefit and make make the majority of the people happy. But you're never going to satisfy everyone. Pappy will always have one bug that he's upset with. Love you, Pappy.
Shout out to Pappy.
Pappy is good with finding bugs. Pappy's like the antivirus in Fault. He just detects them.
Well, it's an experience thing, right? Like the more you play, the more you're able to find bugs and whatnot. I mean, you brought up a great idea, Bearded. I don't even know if that's a system that they use in testing because I'm no longer a tester, right? But it's honestly not that hard to update an Excel sheet, right? Like if you have a team based off bugs, literally having all those bugs on a sheet and checking them off slowly and giving them priority, that's something that the team leader for fixing bugs or finding bugs can literally just update on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Like who knows if they use something like that. But I'm just thinking, man, like my biggest worry heading into 2022 with Fault and Strange Matter is pace. I don't know what their pace is. I don't even have an idea of what their pace is gonna be. I'm of the majority. Well, I don't know if it's majority minority, excuse me. I'm of the opinion. I'm of the opinion that content brings in people more than like adding an item, for example. Like if they literally kept the same items that they have right now, but decided to add skins for the next 6 months, I think they would see a larger increase in people as opposed to we added one new item a month, but it's still the same people adding because there's no new content. Like flashy things draw people, bruh. We live in a society that the average person doesn't even like to wait 5 seconds for an ad on YouTube video. You honestly think an item is going to be what's going to bring someone back? They need flashy. Like in today's marketing schemes, there's a reason why everybody's treated like that toddler with a shiny toy in front of them. Like, you feel me? There's people that look at a game and it's like, I might not buy it. They see a skin in the game and they're like, that skin's dope as fuck. I might buy it just to use the skin. There's a reason why that marketing works.
Right.
Does Fault really need more items, make it more competitively at this stage? Bug fixing, yes, that's something that's going to be consistent, but should that be the focus on Fault?
Something that should have done, I mean, kind of, it's not completely going away from what you just said, but, kind of adding on to it. With this Feng Mao release trailer, kind of what's going on here. I think they need to do that integration with the cinematics and gameplay. Like Mangu said when we first talked about it, is like he was happy that it actually had gameplay in it. It wasn't just a cheesy cinematic trailer. Go back to the Gadget release trailer. When you had that cinematic of the and it showed the little crawly guy, it gave life to him.
And gameplay then after,
and then it went. She threw it, and then you watch that transition to actual gameplay. Something like that could have happened with Feng Mao. Like, I don't know what. I literally have no clue. I'm not the guy to make that storyboard up, but something could have happened where you made that cinematic and then have it go into gameplay, and that would have been a little more flashy, and that would have been that shiny thing for the little toddler, and that would have been, ooh, this is great. Look at Overprime and their last cinematic trailer. It didn't have any gameplay in it, but that cinematic trailer, everyone was like, oh, jaw dropped, like, oh my gosh, everybody
people are enjoying it
because Severung's got a mask,
Yeah, the Mori and the Richter too. Introduction was great.
Yeah.
Mori just turned around, facing you and all that. That it's important.
Yep. It does add a little bit of flair. Yeah, you know what, Rodrizio in the chat, Dos Santos. Welcome, by the way. What's up? That's a great question. What have we heard about the Epic Games release that they teased at the same time as, well, who was it? FaZe and Iggy? Because there was a third teaser there, Epic Games Store.
Yep.
What's going on with that? Have we,
Before
like, had they said anything?
AI was there as well.
AI was there as well. True. So 4.
Yep.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Is that going to be like, if they go to Epic Games Store, is that going to be when they go free to play? Or are they going to go to Epic Games Store with the current price reduction that they're at? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what, I mean, there could be something that kind of goes into the business side of things of why they're not going to Epic. I don't know. There's,
Can Epic reject them? Can that happen? Like
They
they're
can. I don't
thinking
think they would, but
I mean, they could, but it's unlikely that they'd go back on something that was already agreed upon, you know?
yeah.
because I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like you said, it was teased. That was teased too. So no word on it.
I don't know. I think the only thing that can really pull fault out of the nosedive that they're in right now is if they started to release information on console, their work towards console, even if it's years out. That's about the only thing that would perk people up about Fault right now.
You think so?
I mean, that's another thing that needs to happen as well. Yeah. You know, we got to get out of this rut of we're focusing on polishing a PC, release, and then after that we'll work on console. That's really all we're being told, and we have no information about it. You know, I agree that they definitely
they need to turn things around. They need to get people playing the game again. I think the best way to get people once again interested in Fault is to say something about console.
Yeah.
Don't be all cheesy with it and say like, and pull a meta buff. Like, don't give us some bullshit. Like, show us some actual work, like Soli did, like them playing the game on the dev kit or some shit like that. But I mean, I don't even know if they are doing that. So
I don't disagree that would be huge for them. But what we definitely don't want is just more of, hey, let's tell you about this thing that we're doing, and then we don't see it for a year. You know, like we don't see it for another 6 months or something, because then that's just gonna add to the negative stigma that people already have about Fault. It's like, hey, they talk about shit, but it might take a while for you to actually see it. You know, like if they're actually working on it, or if they're close, or they're like, hey, if they say some stuff. Like, I don't even know how long it takes, or if they could even go with the current version of Fault towards start porting it to console, right? But if they came out and said, hey, we plan on console by 2023, would that honestly be that bad? Or do you think they're still going to be like, hey, we're not even going to touch console till PC's ready? And will PC ever be ready? It's a MOBA. It's never ready, you know?
I don't know. I'm just saying they need to do something to pull themselves out of the nosedive that they're in right now, because like I said, the perception is that Fault is shit, even if it's not. And they need to change people's minds somehow.
I think the biggest hurdle with these consoles right now, Windu, is I believe PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 possibly pick up Unreal Engine 4, but at some point they're gonna have to transition to Unreal Engine 5. And a lot of these assets,
no, they don't have to. If they want to, they can say Unreal Engine 4. Smite's still on Unreal Engine 3. Like, yes, what engine they're on doesn't
is gonna require it from, if I'm not mistaken. And the problem with transitioning from 4 to 5 is that some of these not the assets, but some of these landscapes and stuff like that are built in Unreal Engine 4 do not transition over. So some stuff are going to need to be worked on. Like version of Unreal Engine 4, and some of the stuff don't open on the demo version. So,
yeah, there's definitely going to be hiccups transferring, right? It's not going to be a perfect 1-to-1. But they already updated to the latest version of Unreal Engine, which is compatible with Unreal Engine 5. And we talked about it last week, how they're more than likely going to try and make a move. Now, I could see that Unreal Engine 5 is still months away as far as what the expected date of the release is, right? But if they do get to that point and then finally update and whatnot, if they get the performance that they're looking for with even higher visual fidelity, could they maybe be waiting for that for free to play? Has anybody thought about that?
I don't know what they're waiting on. They need to do it soon, though.
Molo saying in the chat, I want Heroes content, not work under the hood. Bro, the 99% of people that...
You're already playing though, Molo.
Yeah, but the 99% of people that buy skin, like that are more focused on skins than gameplay. Again, a well-balanced MOBA, the majority of the community, and like over 90% are silver and bronze. Those aren't necessarily the individuals that are like, I need a better balanced item. You know what I mean? They're just trying to get better at the game. But they sustain the game with the skins, and there's a reason why major companies, even like League, like regardless of what balance changes they do, every season here's a brand new set of skins that we're dropping out for everybody, because they know that that's how they make the majority of their money, if not all of their money. You know, like I would like to see their production pipeline increase at a steady pace. I'm okay with like one hero every month or so. I'm okay with that. But for me, that's not enough. They need to do, like, if you're only going to give me one hero every month and a half, at least give me a skin every month as well. You feel me? Give me a new emote that a month, you know, throughout the month also.
You say that's not enough for you, but okay, we're talking about this being a competition as well, right? So let's say Predecessor in 3 months, they're come out with their early access, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say they're so a month and a half, right? Let's say Fault's month and a half. Let's say Predecessor's not doing they're only doing heroes every 2.5 months. Does Fault now all of a sudden look better because they're pushing content out faster?
That would come down to quality.
Possibly.
That's a big maybe, because it would come down to everybody's going to look at the rate of content and the quality of the content, right? If everybody's going to look at a company, if they take 2 months to drop a skin, but that skin's way better, they're just going to be like, yeah, I'd rather wait 2 months for the better skin, right? Like, nobody's going to care about lower quality skins or just color reskins that you can pump out faster.
That example you gave, Bearded, Overprime can use it now. You can use it with Overprime, honestly. These guys are pumping out skins almost every day, based off of your example. So,
yeah, but
is it considered a better game? Yeah,
you can play Overprime this weekend. That's it.
Absolutely. But what you're saying is, when it does come out, and in my opinion, all these games are probably going to come out around the same time.
We're with the content of the comment of Overprime having 3,000 employees compared to
but
Fault's 15 like that. They're gonna be able to pump out. That's why I put
not Overprime, never.
But again, to you and me who understands the back end of it, we would put Fault and Predecessor as a competition, but the normal the person that's gonna purchase these games and play it doesn't look at it like that. Doesn't give a damn if Predecessor or Overprime or whatever have 2,000 employees. You know what I mean? All they see is, hey, Overprime's pumping out 19 skins a month, 20 skins a month. You know what I mean? Again, when you ask the question, does it make it a better game? I don't think so. It's a fine line. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean just because they pump those out that they're a better game or better.
I mean, if that's your comparison and that's and to Windu's question, then SMS and Pred should just close up shop now, because there's no way they'll be able to compete with Overprime.
No. I'm just
because they'll be pumping out. Because if you're not gonna be able to get a hero a 1.5. You're not gonna be able to keep up to the speed of what Overprime's able to do until you get to that many employees. It's not gonna happen, and especially the quality that they're able to put out. It's not going to happen. And that if that's the mindset that they'll have, then you might as well just close up shop now and just start working on something else.
But that's why we're going to see a shift, though, because at the end of the day now, we're going to see that they have to be more focused on the quality. Like, you feel me? They have to be different. They have to be quality. They have to realize that they're not going to be able to keep up with production and quality of a company like Netmarble. It's just impossible as an indie company, right? They can do their best, but when another company, a competitor, multiplies the amount of people in your studio, like they could easily tenfold it probably of the actual people they have or the resources that they have at their disposal, it's going to be impossible to keep up. But the difference is, when you look at a game like Overprime, you can clearly tell they're not trying to be Paragon. They're doing their own spin on things. It's very, very obvious. You guys can disagree with me if I'm wrong, but it's very, very obvious that they're trying to do their own spin on things, and they're trying to be very, very different from these other games. I think
Fault or Overprime.
I'm talking about Overprime. The problem with Fault right now, I think, is that even if they output quality changes, is that they're not trying to be different enough. People are still going to look at Fault and still look at Predecessor, and until they run out of these epic assets, they're going to compare them one-to-one, regardless of size, funding, whatever.
I'm okay with being compared to Predecessor. That's where they're more equal. And I know, like Mangu said, things aren't fair, but like you said, Overprime's not the same. They're the same in the fact that they're using epic assets. That's where they're the same at. Like, they don't even have the same amount of towers in lane. Like, literally, it's different. Like the speed of the game, the style of the game, it's different.
You don't even hustle to get the abilities that's given to you. You just unlock the alt. Yeah, it makes sense. I totally understand what you're saying, but I wasn't looking more towards the passionate Paragon players that I was making the comparison. I was looking for it as a business aspect of it. The outside world, I mean, like I said, it's hard to keep up with a company like Netmarble that's doing this. But again, in my opinion, the quality of the game and the way the game runs is what's going to make it a good or bad game. Not necessarily because some of the community members got heroes pumped out quicker than others. You know what I mean? Compared to Predecessor and Fault, these two are always going to be at competition. They're the only ones that are the closest to Paragon.
It's
a hard.
I'm in a weird spot.
Being on.
Yeah, I'm in a weird spot about it, because we, especially with the competition in the horizon, right? It's going to open up the conversation of what can be done within a certain amount of time from a studio, because people aren't going to care the size of the studio. People aren't going to care how much funding the studio has. They're literally just going to look at game A and game B and say, hey, game A does this at this speed, this quality. It's going to be a factor. And Strange Matters is going to have to take that into account. Strange Matters is going to have to find a way to combat it, or at least let people know and understand, like, hey, our pace might be slower, but our quality is going to be better. But for them to set that expectation, they can't afford things like, hey, we implemented a new map and it was full of bugs, for example, or a new version of a map, but there were problems in it. You know what I mean? Like, they can't afford situations like that. And I don't know. I'm torn. I'm very torn.
And then here's another good thing too, good or bad, depending on how you look at it. With Netmarble, especially the reputation for being a mobile game industry, right? For all I know, is all these skins that we're seeing in this open weekend might be hidden on their loot boxes. It might be one of those situations where you have to open up a loot box to be able to get one of those skins.
That's going to be their downfall when people see that they have loot boxes.
Exactly. So at that point, the playing field is leveled. When you have Fault and stuff that are bringing out these skins and you can buy them with matter, but you have another company that's hiding them behind loot boxes, that's going to be an issue.
Can I just say, anybody that didn't expect Netmarble, one of the largest mobile game, like one of the largest mobile game companies in the world, to not have loot boxes? Why do you think Paragon was so crazy in loot boxes? They brought in a director that was very successful at mobile game monetization. And then we ended up with loot boxes all over Paragon.
I'm okay with loot boxes though, if it's just your skins though. A skin doesn't win you game. You know, a Paragon, you had fucking cards that were hidden behind loot boxes that were like,
in the beginning,
the Deathcrawler card, I'm getting destroyed. You know, like.
Well, but be mindful. Another thing that people don't like about loot boxes is, like, if they have a new skin for Feng Mao and I want it, in Fault, I have the option to just go buy that skin, whether it be with coin or matter, right?
Right.
In a game with loot boxes, it's like, I want that skin. Like I'll use Smite as an example. New skin came out. Dope. I want that skin. Okay, so it's in this series of loot boxes. There's a total of 20 rewards in that loot box, and it's only guaranteed 1 out of 20. So I can get lucky in my 1 out of 20 chance, or if I have the absolute worst fucking luck at $5 each, I'm now spending $100 on a skin.
Right.
That's why people don't like loot boxes, because it's a chance and they keep on paying.
And you're using your hard-earned coins to open up that loot box.
No. Linda, what he was saying is you can use coins or matter to get skins. Those two things. Now, there are certain skins are only coins, but
those are the strange matter exclusive ones, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's. I'm not talking about that, Bearded.
No. He was addressing Lyndon in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, there's a big difference between being able to go buy a skin and having to get lucky re-rolling on a loot box for a skin. It's very profitable, but a lot of people hate it.
Can you use skid marks to get the ones that are cash only in Fault? Do you know? Or are those still only cash only?
I don't know. From what I remember, I think it was, you can use it, but it's high. Like the amount is pretty damn high.
I don't remember. I mean, that's the one negative thing about being it's a good problem to have. You know, being a partner, you have all the skins, right? So like, I don't know what you're able and not able to do. So I'm just wondering if you're able to use skin marks.
Happy saying you can use skin marks, like 24 of them. That's actually quite a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, at least you can.
That's still good though. That you just got to play the game. Play the game, have fun. You're able to get it.
What Lyndon was saying was the Chimera military one. Wasn't that part of the season pass?
Well,
because you can't get any military.
Well, no.
Military one.
No, the military skins were for COVID relief.
Yeah.
Specifically. So that makes sense to that why it was actual money, yeah.
Was to actually, it was almost like a Red Cross relief type thing, you know, but it was for the COVID relief. You know, all the proceeds went to that. You know, that was for that situation.
I don't know all, but I know at least some. I don't know the exact details.
I guess I don't know my bad. I should.
No, you're chilling.
I don't know for sure.
But yeah, it's just, I know for a fact people are gonna feel some type of way about loot box, right? With other games and such, and that's why testing out different monetization things, I was okay with Strange Matters towards the beginning. Right. And that's why I'm like, okay, test the season pass. They tested out prices of the skins. After feedback, they lowered prices of the skins. You get me? Those are all things you're going to have to do in order to gauge the market. They have to make money. I'm okay with all that. But I'm not worried about whether they can sell a skin. I'm more worried about whether they can keep people coming back to buy the next skin. Those are two very different scenarios. You feel me? Like somebody in chat brought it up. They're great at generating hype. And then they let that plateau and kind of die off a bit before they do anything about it. They need to take advantage of generate hype, act. it's plateaued a little bit, but you still got a little bit of that hype from last week. Do something else to kind of get that uphill. You get me? You never want that hype to be straight at the bottom where people are just like, we don't even know if there's a character coming next month. We don't even know when the next skin is coming. We got lucky that we got Astronaut Gideon. You got me?
It's one of the things that I think they did. They benefited with announcing Fang Mal at the time they did, because everybody's excited about Overprime. You have people who only been following Overprime and didn't actually know about Fault, and now all of a sudden you have this big announcement going out. You know, for these people who are now like, hey, they've been huge Paragon players. Their game that they've been following, Overprime, is here. Oh wait, there's other ones, and then oh wait, I can play Fang Mount next week. Like it's a good time for them to do it, and they're taking advantage of all this hype generated by two other companies. You have Overprime and Ethereal generate all this hype for this weekend, and then Fault's just able to kind of like pull it in. They're like, here you go, hey, here we are. Why everybody's all excited? We got something for you next week. All right, we'll continue the hype. We'll just carry it on over. Bring the hype train this way.
You know what? Would it be crazy for a new hero to be on a free week rotation, like you just kind of mentioned? Like if Fenmal's coming out that entire week, everybody can use him. But after that week, if you want to use him, you got to own him through whatever method.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
You feel me?
See them introduce Feng Mao. Wait about a week to make sure that there's no huge bugs or any kind of craziness going on with that patch. Once that patch is flushed out and they know that it works well, have a free weekend and have Feng Mao be free.
Yeah, that's there you go. That's the combination. There you go. I like that.
I do too. I really do.
Yeah, because and I think that's more beneficial for them as a for a business side of it, because that week, if you want Fang Mao, you're going to buy it, right? So then you're going to spend the money. Either now if you're using Matter, that's a different situation. But you know what I'm saying, like you people who want them are going to buy them, and then you wait that week. Then you get all the bugs worked out of it, right? And then you get the next patch, and then you put that patch out. You do a free weekend, and you make him free. Then it's going to get more people to play him, and then people are going to play him. They're going to get that itch, like, oh man, I really enjoyed that. I got to get this guy.
What about this idea, guys? What about allowing these new heroes to be played only in AI matches, but you have to get them to play a PvP?
Wait, say that again?
Allowing these new heroes like Feng Mao, right? Let's say you got the $10 version of Fault and the heroes rotate, right? Allowing Feng Mao to be played only in AI matches. Just you can go in there in AI and play Feng Mao, try him out. But in order to go to PvP, you have to own it.
I don't know. I think that would piss people off.
Yeah, I mean that's a weird one.
Weekend.
No, I rather have a free week with a character for everybody, and then after go back to normal. Because at the end of the day, there are individuals that only play the game on AI, and that's all they ever care. They just want to get their 1 or 2 matches in AI, and that's it, right? So now those individuals are an advantage to where the PvP community is like, oh, so the AI guys get to play, but we have to pay. Like it's really better just give it for free for everybody for that first week, including the free weekend, whatever, right? Just give it to everybody for a 1 week rotation. Let them try it out early, and then after the fact, go back to normal.
I think I misunderstood you. What do you mean the AI guys get to play it for free and the others don't? What do you mean by that?
Well, because you just said
that's what you were at.
Yeah,
you suggested.
You literally just said Feng Mao for free on AI, and PvP you have to buy it. That's literally what you just said.
Okay, but my point is that across the board, if you have the $50, if you bought the $50 Masters pack, you're gonna have all of this unlocked, right? Instead of a free weekend across the board, if you have the game, and let's say Feng Mao is closed because it's in rotation, it doesn't matter who you are and what you have. You can go into AI, try out Fang Mao, see if you like it, and you buy it. The person that
I don't think you understand what I said.
Outside community. I'm not talking about the outside community though.
Yeah, I don't think you understand what I was saying.
Fuck out of me, Stunt. Because if you
Stunt
all access pass, then why would you need to buy them?
Because my phase wasn't given to me. I had to buy phase. It's gold to get phase.
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken,
auto unlock for you.
If I'm not mistaken, the 50. If I'm not mistaken, the 50, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Master Pass was for all the characters, including Season 0, up to a certain point, right?
Okay.
Anything after certain Season 0 was not promised in the Master Pack.
Correct.
Oh, well, fuck.
Okay,
that
so
sucks.
with that said, instead of waiting for a free weekend or getting a free weekend, having the Master Pack, I should be able to go in and play with Fang Mao as AI matches. If I like them, buy it for PvP. That's what I'm saying, because it's close for me. For phase, I had to get it using the matter I gathered or something like that, just to be able to play it.
Yeah, I mean,
if he's free, I think he should just be free across the board for a week.
That's what I'm saying. Just don't overcomplicate it. Make it easier.
Is a pretty good idea. Like having everybody.
Yeah, I agree with. I see what you're saying there, Stunt. Now in that regard, when it comes to that, yeah, there's no reason for you not to be able to. If you're just playing a bot match, there's no reason. Now, I guess here's the difference, though. It literally has to be AI solo. I think you have to play AI solo instead of playing AI the AI co-op.
Sure.
Because that you can have a bunch of people in. And I mean, it's pretty much like customs, So I think if you're playing AI solo, that's when you have the ability to play as any hero you want, and get used to I'm okay with that. That makes sense.
I mean, can I just say it would be cool that all the heroes were unlocked during customs? Because usually customs are like for specific events or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like customs aren't that common.
Hosting smart, customs and doing ARAMs, like, all right, you got this hero. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't have the hero. Well, fuck,
bro.
Spam through and find the next hero you got.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Because in my first initial thought was, when you buy the Masters Pack, you get all of them. But when Phase came out and I had to get it with the mana, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. It was up to that point.
Somebody's mentioning in chat. I don't know how I feel about it, but somebody brought up a subject here that I want to talk to you guys and actually get feedback on. How would you feel if Fault were free to play AI, but if you want PvP, you need the upgraded version?
In other words, like demo? Just have a demo version.
Like imagine a demo version of Fault that would only be solo versus AI, for example.
That's actually smart.
I like and then like if you want
having it free, period. But
no, yeah, for sure. But I'm saying as a stepping stone, because again, I doubt that they're going to go free to play in the next 30 days, right?
Yeah.
So as a stepping stone, just having solo versus AI, or like a demo version that they can literally download, and it's just that one game mode. People can play it. You know what I'm saying? Like just do their own thing. And then if they want to get the go. How come?
Question though, unlimited AI or a certain amount? Like if you download the version, you only get like 5 games as AI and then it closes.
I mean, unlimited. Yeah, you do bring up a good point. Like some sort of cap would be needed so people don't just take advantage of it, right? Like, hey, like solo, you get a demo until you reach level 5. And then at that point you can buy the game or pay into the game and do whatever you want.
So here's the problem. AI is good for an instance, but then AI is dumb as fuck. You literally don't have, you just have Murdock and Muriel pushing down lane, even though it's overextended as fuck, and like they only do so much. It's not the actual game. And you can only do that so often. As somebody plays the game and enjoys it, I can't you're asking these people who are going to play this game and they want to enjoy it to just continue to only play this game until it goes free to play. They're not going to be able to play AI mode that long. Like, you can't just do it. Like, you literally feel you lose brain cells by doing it. Like, okay, I'm
isn't that do this anymore. But isn't that the whole point? And why would be an incentive to unlock the full game and then go to PvP?
Isn't that another good way of bringing in
the
people?
The whole point is to not, like, you're literally waiting for free to play because you don't want to spend the money on the game.
No, it's actually bringing.
Well, I'm saying doing it because it's a 50-50 basically. You let people into the game for free, but not everything is available.
The chance of the perception to be any more negative. Like, you do that, then you're just gonna, and you just introduce a chance for more negative comments on Steam. You don't need many more negative reviews.
I mean,
I don't think it's worth it. With it being 50-50, I don't think 50-50 is worth it. I think I need a higher % chance of it being a beneficial. Like Mango said, just make it free to play if that's what you're going to do. I mean,
so let's just so let's do this, because last time they did a price decrease of $10 across the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the next step is just another $10 and tier 1, the cheapest one, is going to be free to play? Because I think what more likely is to happen is that they're going to go from 10 to 5 is what I think is more likely to happen.
I hope not. Nobody.
I hope not.
$5 games. Everybody searches for free games.
I hope not, but I'm saying, do you really, like? Let's be real. Realistically, in your opinion, at least, do you guys think Vault is next going to go to $4.99, $5 or whatever, or do you think it's going to go free to play? What do you think is more likely?
But what's the purpose? We're not negotiating a house payment or something. Like, why would it just go down another 15%? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Or
why did they go down $10?
To reel in new players because they're gonna go to the free to play weekend.
Then that would be the same answer. They can do another free to play weekend and lower it by $5 across the board.
Go to $250 and then go to 0.
Unfortunately, they literally can keep doing that until they get to 0. Because that's literally, like, I hate to say it, but that's literally just trying to get as much money as possible before they go free to play. That's literally what that is. And I understand that from an indie company that's trying to get funds. I get it. But that's literally what that is. And the whole point is either they stick with the increments or they lower the increments. If they lower the increments, if they went from $10 off to $5 off, there's nothing stopping them from going $2.50 off and just keeping with the pattern. But now it's going to take a while until they go free to play, right? The bigger jump and what we all would want is then going from, okay, they went $10 off. Now the next one, tier 1 is free to play, but for tier 2 and tier 3, you still have to pay. I could see them doing something like that still also. If they just do $10 more across the board, they'll give you the lower version for free, but the master pack or whatever, the $25 one.
Well, what's that?
If I'm not mistaken, you get, I think, 10 heroes total, and then 1 like invite a friend key, I think is what it is. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
So you get 3 more heroes than you get out of the found. Wait, no, what is it? You had 7 heroes in the founders, whatever.
I'll look it up specifically here on Steam so we can talk about it.
The person that has the lowest,
go ahead.
Can they buy more heroes using matter in the lowest pack, or did they have to wait for rotation? So
no, they can.
So if the lowest pack goes free, why would anybody else pay for the Masters pack? They would just grind it to, and it goes back to what Magus is saying: make it free all around. I mean, I'll just grind to get my heroes.
I mean, some people like to just pay instead of grind. Like, I bought the Smite.
I do it.
God pack, but that gave me all the gods forever for free, and was the same amount of money as the one that you bought from Fault Stunt, and you don't get all the heroes for free. I've been assuming this whole time that the Mastery Pack was going to give you everything always for free.
That's what I thought. And then when Face came out, I'm like, I have to use matter? Wait a minute. So for Feng Mao, I don't even know how much matter I need.
Hey, shout out to the partner panel. They made the Steam page for Fault.
What?
Scroll down.
What are you talking about?
Click on Fault and scroll down. The partner panel is on there.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're talking, bro. That's because I upload our videos to this team page.
Either way, we're there.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, I do it as far as like
I don't
posting
give a
it
shit
to
who
the
did it.
community.
Shout out to us. We made it.
But so here, so the $14.99 upgrade, because I forgot it's not $25 anymore. It's $10 reduction. The $14.99 upgrade gives you 14 heroes, 1,000 coins. The $24.99 upgrade, which is the higher upgrade, gives you 14 heroes, 2,000 coins, and the Season 0 hero pack. So that's a major difference between those two. And then when you go to just the base version of the game is just going to give you, hold on, they don't even list it, quite frankly, unfortunately. But I if I'm not mistaken, it's 5 heroes. It was 5 heroes with no extra skin. Like, it was literally just bare bones. Like, you have a hero per role, basically. It's like a starter.
I think it was 7.
I could be wrong.
I thought it was 7 heroes you can get at that the starter, like literally just the base pack. I thought it was 7 heroes.
Well, but I don't think people would complain regardless if the entry was free and then paying to get extra characters and skins faster is an option. I don't think anybody would complain if they did that in general.
I think they should have done that from the get.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that at all. Like, literally, you have that with other game? Like, isn't like Smite like that? Then we just say something like that. You literally go play Smite for free now. But if you wanted to, like, the turtles pack, you could, like, you'd pay for it and you get all the turtles or whatever you wanted. Like, right now, I think it's Transformers. If I remember correctly, let me click on Smite.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
But so
like,
I think here's the struggle that any upcoming business is going to struggle with, right? If there's something that works, it's very scary to divert to a new business plan. If paid entry has worked for Strange Matters, at least to a certain extent, right? Going free to play is a scary thing if they feel like they're not ready. And that's why in the past, in multiple partner panels, I brought up the thought of, I'm worried that they might never feel like they're ready for free to play. Like, the game could go free to play right now. Right? They have all these retention systems. They've done optimization. They're always going to do optimization. They're always going to add content that's going to need more optimization. They're always going to be at never-ending progression. Their original reason for not going free to play was, we need onboarding or retention tools. Mm-hmm. You got them now. What's stopping?
Whether they're afraid or not, Windu, I think there's going to be a time where they're going to be pushed into free to play.
Yeah.
When this platform starts turning and all these other para-zombies become free to play, I think they're going to be pushed into it. Ready or not, you're going free to play. You know what I mean? So if they're afraid of something, you might as well work on it now, because you're going to forcefully going to be pushed into free to play.
Well, you're going to do it regardless. My fear is just to win, because they literally could just squeeze the lemon and go free to play in 2025 because they didn't feel like they were ready. You get what I'm saying? Since we have no timelines, no deadlines, there is no pressure on them by the community or by themselves. You get what I'm saying?
Right now's the time. There's so many people interested in Paragon remakes right now. Like, the closed beta test for Overprime goes down, and all of a sudden you can play this one every day and you can play it for free.
Yeah.
If we get so many more players, it would fix matchmaking, which is the number one biggest problem Fault has right now. Ugh.
And with fair matchmaking, people, it's literally a chicken before the egg. You got to get the players in here.
Yeah.
I mean, with patch 15 announced free to play, Fang Mao,
Perfect.
patch 15, right after everything happened with this weekend, bam, free to play.
Again, guys, I don't know how much of this is true. Please don't quote me on it. Neither should the community.
We're going to record you on it right now. Keep you quoted.
Yeah, but
For the entire YouTube video.
Iggy and Scorch's script is already written and finished too, and I've heard this many times. So if we're gonna go free to play, now is that time. Now is the time to really start all of this. With whether you want to call it patch 15 or 16 or whatever, but
Or with Crunch, the next hero. What?
I can't with you, right?
Terra.
I mean,
We need a solo.
You think I'm lying?
Here's the thing. It's a ballsy move, but here's why I don't think that they will, and I hate that I'm saying this. They're hiring a marketing manager. That means they're probably afraid to make moves unless the right person is making it. Until that marketing manager is hired, they probably are going to be hesitant. And even when a marketing manager is hired, they're probably going to tell him, hey, we need a roadmap that ends with us going free to play. And then from there, we start a new story.
Would that be after the other 3 release or before? Because at this rate,
I don't know. I don't know. It's literally going to come down to when they feel they're ready. And that's my biggest concern with Strange Matters. I don't they literally do not give themselves enough credit for all the fucking work that they've done. Like, yeah, some people hate it. Some people like it. What the fuck ever. They've done a shit ton of work in the 1.5 years that they've been in early access. They've done a shit ton of work in the 2+ years since they announced themselves to the world. They don't give themselves enough fucking credit. Like, there will come a point where, shout out to, I think it was Aimless that said this in the chat. There will come a point where they got to throw it in the fire and see if it survives.
Sink or swim, baby.
Yeah, sink or swim. They have to make that leap. But right now, what I feel is, in the whole swim or swim scenario, I feel like, oh, well, we got to make sure we get the arm floaties on. But wait, we have the vest on, but hold on. Maybe I should bring a whistle in case I'm drowning. Maybe somebody can hear me if I got my whistle. Like, they're just like, well, we need this. Oh, well, we should add this. They're never going to get to the point where it's perfect.
now they want a lifeguard with the marketing manager just to stand over them.
And here's the thing. I hate to say this, but from a company standpoint and liability, if your choices and decisions were made by somebody's influence or somebody that you trusted, that they knew what they were doing, if it doesn't work, you have a fall guy now. That's how
fault now.
That's how a business works. And let's say they hire the marketing manager, they go to full release, it didn't go as planned. That's the marketing manager's fault. We just need to find a new marketing manager now.
Okay, I'm a marketing manager now, and let's say Falk fails and closes down. Who gives a shit if you blame me?
Yeah,
the game doesn't exist anymore.
Yes, son. They're only answerable to the
who gives a shit if Epic blames whoever they want to blame for Paragon?
A Fall Guy would work for Soul Eve, right? Because they answer to Netmarble. They can pin everything on this guy and say, if you get rid of this guy, then we'll succeed.
Yeah.
Fall can't do that.
But Fall is a company that, like we already established, they don't have to report to somebody. If it's something isn't as successful and there's a Fall Guy, they can literally just come back a year later and try again. They can literally keep doing that as many times as they have the money to support them doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Is that suicide? If you fail that once,
I mean, you're not wrong. But what I'm saying is, them waiting on all these different things is literally just like we said, like they're trying to have safety nets in different areas, whether it be liability, whether it be like, oh, they just want reassurance that they know they have the right guy handling the marketing before they go. You get me? Like, we could sit here and debate a million years about what if. The only thing that we know is that Vault just hasn't gone free to play. They've talked about it, but we haven't seen any motion towards free to play besides a $10 decrease. And the only thing that we know is that there was a $10 decrease in 1.5 years of early access. If that is a pattern, it's a dangerous one. And like, they need to show more motion. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that Fault and Strange Matter as a company has. People can, it's easier to tell the progress over like 3-6 months, but people can't look at Strange Matter always and tell, hey, there's constant progress being done. For some of us that read every single patch notice shit, we can tell. But for the average person, literally just turns a game on and goes in, they can't tell that easily. That's why content sells so much. It sells that perspective that progress is being made. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest mystery to me about SMS is that, and again, until they come out and tell us what's going on, is why haven't they capitalized on so many opportunities they had? Whether it's going free to play, whether it's releasing a certain hero, whether it's releasing some skins. The SMS has had.
So if you want them to capitalize, they just need to put auto run on.
This guy's something else. Look at Windu. He doesn't even want to mention anything.
Since I already interrupted you, I need to go back to Windu's reference of swimming and having a whistle while you're drowning. If you're drowning, you shouldn't be wasting your breath on a whistle. For one,
you're not wrong.
And for two, isn't that the lifeguard's job to blow the whistle? What are you doing with the whistle?
You're 100% wrong, Bearded.
I'm afraid that they're looking for their lifeguard.
The Titanic. The whistle
She wasn't drowning.
It was the whistle that brought him back.
Jack didn't have a whistle.
Oh, he had bubbles. Rip. But yeah, like that's my fear. Like let's end it because we're getting up there. But that's my fear, that they are waiting for a lifeguard before they jump in. That's a great analogy, by the way. Shout out to Goose and Bearded on that one. Like they're waiting for a lifeguard before they jump in, and that's a way that I personally feel. But yo, let's wrap up. Thank you everybody that has been here watching, listening, chilling with us. If you did make it this far, wherever you are watching, please make sure that you drop a GG in the comments, Twitter, Facebook, podcast format, whatever it may be, right? Drop a GG to let us know that you actually made it.
I have to ask Goose a question before we end it.
Okay.
Hey Goose, what version of New Balances you got there?
Where do you see my New Balances?
Behind your shoulder when you got up and got coffee. Other shoulder.
My Go Fasters? I forget which.
I can't with you, bro. I know you're not bringing up this man's shoes. Get me out.
Is that the Fault Edition Goose or is that over?
Those are my fault Go Fasters.
Oh my god.
My fucking jarheads.
Is that the Fig Mal release edition?
Are those the Ground Force ones?
Get me out. Anyway, yo, so start it off, Stunt. Give your 2 cents, your feedback to the community. Just what do you want to say to the community? And you can throw your plugs while you're at it.
Shout out to you guys first, man. Thank you for having me, Windu. It's always a pleasure. And to the community, hey, your feedback is always important to us. If you guys happen to watch this on YouTube again or have friends that watch it, drop a feedback. Don't listen to anybody else's shit unless they've tried the game themselves and are going to give you a valid opinion. Other than that, I can't wait for the road ahead to see what Fault's going to bring us.
True.
I just want to say the Fault's in a good place. The game's good. And, everything's there. They just need more people playing it. Hopefully they can get over the weird thing where everybody just shits on them and gangs up on them without ever actually trying the game. Like somebody was saying earlier, Nabori was shitting on Fault, saying he wouldn't wipe his ass with it. It was the last time you saw Nabori play Fault.
When was the last time you seen Nabori wipe his ass?
A couple weeks ago.
What the hell?
He does it twice a month or something like that.
But like a lot of people,
Nah,
we just got to get. They just got to get over this thing where everybody just loves to shit on them. We saw Overprime dig themselves out of that hole, so
yeah,
Fault can also dig themselves out of that hole. And speaking of holes, the reason Bearded's hole is so loose is right there.
I fucking can't, bro.
Oh shit!
I can't, bro. He just had to throw something in.
Don't you want to put your New Balance link? You want to plug that? Get your
His New Balance sponsor, Rip.
The Goose Go
senior citizen credit, for newbalance.com or something.
Yikes, bro.
On Twitch _V.
What I gotta say is what's happening right now, and there was a couple of comments in chat that people were talking about it, and people pretty much saying Fault's a dead game because if you look at Overprime has got a lot more viewers than Fault does right now, or a lot more streamers than Fault does right now. Overprime's something new that nobody's even seen, not nobody's even seen, but that we haven't seen in a while. It's something fresh, right? So you're gonna have a lot of that, but after this weekend, those numbers are gonna go right down. Like you're not gonna see anybody streaming Overprime after this weekend, for a while until they come back, and then those numbers are gonna. So don't judge Fault by the numbers that you see this weekend because it's words. They're not the correct numbers. They're biased for a reason, So wait until they're on even playing grounds and they're both at early access or full release or whatever, and then judge those numbers, and then you can make judgments from there. But until then, play the game and give it a chance and see what you actually think from it. Don't just judge it by the numbers that you see.
Yeah, and I think that people are making an assumption that Twitch viewership based off of hype indicates consistent, followers or consistent support, right? That's like saying like when Valorant first dropped and the Twitch drops were like crazy and they had they broke records on the game with views and shit like that. And then that shit mellowed the fuck out to what it actually should be a couple months later. Like it happens, right? Like it's good to see success with all the companies because competition is needed, quite frankly. But at the same time, it's very easy for somebody that doesn't know better to misunderstand numbers of hype with consistent player base. We've seen that with Fault. We've seen that with every other game that's ever been released. There's always a hype period. When the plateau is reached, that's when you know where the consistency's at. But no, as far as my 2 cents, my 2 cents is just going to be towards Strange Matter, man. Like, I support Strange Matter. I support all the projects, but I really, really want Strange Matter to succeed as always. And I think that they started off the year on a good note, but I don't want them to get complacent. I don't want them to just feel because they're doing good that they don't have to push for better. They should always be pushing for excellence. Like they aim for 110%, and if they only got 102, at least that's better than just 100. Because 100 is the bare minimum that's expected nowadays, unfortunately. So, yeah, just keep it up. Don't get complacent, and hopefully the road ahead starts getting a little bit brighter. Because the year started off good, but I want to see a little bit more out of them. But again, thank you everybody that joined us. We appreciate you. Again, we always have these conversations live on the Bearded Wolverine's Twitch channel every Friday night. At 8:30 p.m. EST. That's what we try for, at least. I might be late sometimes. I'm sorry. And then from there, they are going to be on YouTube format the following week on Wednesday. And then from there, they will be on podcast that same day as well. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much for all the love, the support. Let's see what comes out of Strange Matter here in the next few weeks. Hopefully it's good. But until next time, guys, much love. Peace.
Peace.